Good morning, friends, and welcome to the first session of the last day of Triple M 2020. Just before uh, introducing about the speaker, uh, I was thinking of telling. Okay, I'll do it the announcement at the end of the session. Okay, so we will have the first speaker of this today's session, Dr. Ashwini Kumar. So, uh, while introducing him, I just want to introduce him. Dr. Ashwini Kumar is an assistant professor in the School of Mechanical Engineering at KIIT Bhubaneswar. He has completed his PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Dhanbad, and his master's is in mechatronics from IIIT Jabalpur. Dr. Kumar has completed his bachelor's in mechanical engineering from University Institute of Technology, Barkatala University, which is in Bhopal. He also possesses a keen interest in R&D projects and industrial consultancy. His research interests include tribology, condition monitoring, oil analysis, wear debris analysis, vibration analysis, and mechatronics. He has authored several research papers in the international journals of repute and presented several research papers at various international conferences. And he is a certified level 2 machine lubricant analyst, which is according to ISO 1843442 from the International Council for Machinery and Lubrication. And Dr. Ashwini Kumar, currently he is working at KIIT Bhubaneswar, as I informed you earlier. So, and we all welcome Dr. Ashwini Kumar for this session. And Dr. Ashwin, you will be having 1 hour 15 minutes, and we will give at least 15 minutes for the participants to ask questions and queries, actually, if they have any. So last 15 minutes, we will use that for question answer session.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I am handovering the session to Dr. Ashwini Kumar. Thank you, Ashwini.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So good morning, everyone. So we'll start with the session with the what we're going to do in this session. We are dealing with the. Okay, I'm sharing in my screen. Is it visible to all? Okay, hopefully this is visible to all.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. So we will in this session we will start with what is friction, what is wear, and then what is the application of tribology in the manufacturing. Okay. So we will start with the friction, wear, and the tribology in manufacturing, and there is a case study, and there is a 2 case study that we will discuss. So basically, what is friction? All of you know that what is friction. Friction is just a resistance to movement of one body and over the another body. This is the just basic. We know that in the detail. I will go through what is the friction, what is the concept of the friction. So friction is just a resistance of a movement of one body over the other body. But we can say that friction may be between a solid or gas, that is aerodynamic friction, and then we can say that what is the friction between the liquid and the solid, that is a liquid friction, and then there is an internal friction also between friction due to the internal energy dissipation. Okay. So but there is no particular reason. We can't say that this is a particular reason for a existing of a friction. So there are number of mechanisms, there are number of reasons that a friction can happen. So we can say that the friction is used to just describe a gradual loss of energy in a many situation. For example, internal friction, what it does dampens the vibration of a solid, and the viscous friction, the slow the internal motion of liquid, and there is a skin friction also you have heard about, that is between the moving airplane and the surrounding airs. So in this lecture we'll just deal with, or we're concerned with the solid friction, that is between two solid bodies. Okay, that is two relative the motion between the two solid bodies. So this is the solid body. Just like we can say that the dry friction also, solid friction also, the resistance of movement of solid body over another body. So the earlier invention, we can say that what is the earlier invention of a man, or the earlier finding of a man? The first earlier invention of a man is finding of a cooking fire around 5 lakh BC that we have found a cooking fire using the application of friction. And then the second earlier invention is around 3500 BC, that is the finding of a wheel, where we have seen that the rolling friction is less than the comparatively to the sliding friction. And then around 1800 BC we have found that the use of lubricant, that we can use the lubricant. In that evidence that we have found that we can use the lubricant for the purpose of reducing friction. So this is the history, we can say that we have very earlier histories regarding the frictions. Okay, so in the in 1800 I told you that it's an attempt to find the friction by test of that in a temple painting, where they are showing that they are using the animal fat for the reduction of the friction. And then 1945 there is a history about that Leonardo formulated two basic formulas for the friction, that is friction is independent of contact area and friction is proportional to the load also. So these are the we can say that these are the histories. And after some 200 years later, then the Guglielmo Amantus has discovered about the two basically discovered that one, and he reasoned that their friction was primarily result of the work done to lift one surface over the roughness of the other surface. So the concept is same around all about, but with the evolvement, we are increasing the points or what is the different causes of the friction. And then the Sir Isaac Newton also discovered and created during his creation of the basic law of motion, he added the friction causes also in their law and formulating the third law of friction also. So and the 1950, the recent one, that Tabor have given some physical explanation of the observed, and he observed the different laws of friction. Okay. So this is the we can say that this is just a starting, or the starting is around 500 BC here, where we have started analyzing the friction and the application of friction. And then we can say that what is the general causes of friction. So the general causes of the friction is around we are dealing with the smooth surface. Means in general we can say that a smooth surface produces less friction than the rough surface. So what is this cause? What is the cause of that one? The cause of that one is hard surface, how hard the surface pushed together, or the type of the surface involved, how hard the surface pushed together. This means that the friction are caused by the forces between the two contacting bodies, as I told you, acting in their surface. So means the two forces, the force are determined by the two, besides the load, the properties of the contacting materials and the area of the contact. So this is the thing that we are the points that we have to consider, that contacting material also and the area of the contact also. So friction forces are usually not directly predictable. We can't say that we predict the friction forces. For example, because of the change in the environment, the surface of the bulk material changes because of the reaction of the we can say that the environmental reaction, they form oxide layer over that one. So we can't say that we can predict the friction also. So the real contact is entirely different from the bulk properties of the material. So in this way, that cause of the friction are non-predictable also. Or we can say that there are different laws given by we can say for the dry friction, or there is a the different researchers have produced different laws, and this is the summarize of that laws. Or we can say that in many situations, first law tells that in many situations where the resultant of tangential force is smaller, then some force parameters are specific to the particular situation, the friction force will be equal and the opposite to the resultant of the applied force, and the no tangential will occur. So these are the different 6 laws proposed by the different researchers, and the concluded by the Moore and the Rabinowitz. So this is second law is when tangential motion occurs, the friction always acts in a direction opposite to that of the relative velocity of the surfaces. And the third one is friction force is proportional to the normal load, and the fourth one is coefficient of friction is independent of apparent contact area, and the fifth one is the static coefficient is greater than kinetic coefficient. So the coefficient of the friction is independent of the sliding speed. This is the 6th law. but all the 6 laws we can't say that it's applicable in every cases. So none of these lies entirely accurate. We can say that for the purpose of dry friction, or we can say for the purpose of solid friction, 3, 4, 5, 6 are only applicable if the following condition, or we can say that the different under the different conditions. It's entirely not applicable. I mean to say that. So the like third law, this is the like in the third law, for the third law is when it valid when the normal load is assumed to be very low as compared to the causing the contact area to be. It means the normal load is normal load is very low, then the third law is very applicable. In case of like fourth law, the material in the contact area are assumed to be have like definite yield points such as metals. In that case, it does not apply when the does not apply to elastic or viscoelastic materials. So these are the different conditions we have to also understand where we are going to use this law, where we can apply or where we can't apply. So we have to understand these ones also, because we are not able to apply all the entire law at a point. So these are things we have to also consider while considering the friction. Like there is a quote by the Taylor. Taylor has quoted that one by the W. Pauli. Then he said that the God made solids and the surfaces are made by the devil. Why this so? Because the surfaces are extremely complicated because of their topography and the chemical reactivity. We can say that because of their composition and microstructure, which may be very different from those of the solid bulk solid. So like the surface property, composition, and the microstructure may be very difficult to determine or predict accurately. So this is the challenges when we are dealing with the friction. So you are seeing, you are able to see the geometric shape of a surface where there is a we can say that there are a number of micro events. Because of the micro events, there are different types of roughnesses, and we can say that there is understand the what is the micro deviation, what is the micro deviation from the ideal surface, what is the roughness, and about that what is the micro roughness also. So this is so much complicated that we are, even after the polishing, we can say that even after a surface polishing, we have the roughnesses also, micro roughnesses or micro deviations also. So this is the very, we can say that this at this point you are seeing the picture. So there is a part of the research that we have to deal with this. The difficulty is the not polishing, just difficulty is to measure how we're going to measure this one. So as a part of research, we can also do some, or we can also find the method how to measure this one, the roughnesses. And the next we will understand what is the different basic mechanism of a friction. So basically mechanism, I mean to say that the physical, chemical, or the materials related microscopic event that causes the friction are called basic mechanism of the friction. Okay, so that there are different number of mechanism of this nature that we have understand friction from the very beginnings. So like the basic mechanism involves like generating, for the purpose of generating friction is adhesion and the mechanical interaction of the surfaces, like flowing off of, and another one is like flowing off one surface by asperities of the other. So these are the just basic mechanism that are generating frictions. The like another one is like deformation and of or like fracture of a surface because of the oxides, development of oxides, and like another basic mechanism may be like interference and the local plastic deformation caused by the third body. So these are the different mechanism. So when we are dealing with what is the research related to the friction we can do. The research related with the friction, like friction measurement, as I told you, more accurate the way to measure and to predict its value for a given condition without having test the actual system. So this is the challenge about the measurement of friction. And what is the another thing like friction sensing? So the use of the various signals that are generated by the friction or the real-time feedback control of robots and manufacturing process and the lubrication system, we can find some research also regarding the friction sensing. What is about the materials and the coatings with low friction for the operation at elevated temperature? This is the part of a research also where the normal lubricant breakdowns. So we are doing research regarding the finding the material and the coating that will produce the low friction under the elevated temperature. This is the challenge. We have to work under the high temperature, elevated temperature, for the purpose of reducing the friction by the using different material and the coating with a constant or predictable, or we can say that sustainable values that we can't do, that like we want to deal with, like in case of like material, we are coating different coatings we are providing at a high temperature. So these are the related research we can do regarding the friction, different aspects of the friction. So basically my point is to make you understand what is the basics of the friction, what is the basic mechanism, what we are dealing with the surfaces, what we are dealing with micro roughness, and what is the different laws. This is the aim to make you understand what is the basic of the friction. I am not going in the like finding the like equation and mathematical expression regarding the friction. There are deep, it include very deep mathematical expression for that, like different type of sliding friction we can go, and we can go for like rolling friction also. So this is just explanation about the basic of friction, and the what is the research related you can find, or you can do, or we can do in this one. So the next is what is the wear. What we'll understand what is a wear. Wear is just, we can say that wear is just a progressive loss of material. You have know that what is wear just for the from the coating surface, or we can say that from the different type of contacting surfaces relative in motion and the plastic deformation at the interface. Also, like it leads to wear, and the like that is deformation induced wear. We can say that the wear can also be caused by the chemical process. So there are number of ways we can define a wear. This is just a basic things like what is the classification under which we can define a wear. Basically, there are various forms of wear exist in the industry, or we can say that in our daily to daily life, such like lubricated, under the lubricated wear, or we can say that under the unlubricated wear. There are two conditions, and there are other things like severe wear we can classify, or under the section like we can also classify what is the mild wear and what is the sliding wear, and these are the different types of classification we can consider for the classification of wear. Or because of this classification, we can't say that this like lubricated wear or under lubricated wear, the only one mechanism or only one like mechanism like adhesion abrasion is responsible. No, we can't say that. So there are number of individual, or we can say that individual, or the number of combination of wear mechanism like abrasion, adhesion, and fatigue, and the oxidation wear are responsible for the purpose of wear. Okay. So like in the lubricated, there are different types of wear. Also, in the lubricated condition, there is a reason like the wear may happen because of the abrasion, because of the adhesion also. And in the case of unlubricated, this may also like because of both combination of both, the wear will happen. So basically, there are different ways the wear can be understand, and what is the application of wear we will see. So the wear, or we can say that the wear dominated by the, we can also classify in this way, the wear dominated by the mechanical behavior of the material, or wear dominated by the, we can say that the material solution of like this one, like under the material behavior, we can say that there are asperities deformation and the removal, and the wear caused by the plowing, the delamination wear, adhesive wear. These are the different classification under the material behavior. Or under the, like we can say that the wear dominated by chemical behavior of material solution like oxidation wear, diffusion wear by melting of the surfaces. So we will going to discuss what is the different types of wear, but in the detail we will discuss only the severe wear, that we are concerned with the like what is the abrasive wear we will understand first one, because these are the responsible for the severe wear. So we will just discuss what is the abrasive wear. So like abrasive wear by abrasion, we can say that in the most frequently encountered wear mechanism in industry. So there may be of two type. Like first one is like three body wear abrasion. We can say that involves like for an harder material that either trapped between the two sliding surfaces or and abrading one or both the surfaces. So this is like abrasion wear by the three body wear abrasion. We can say that. So the example of three body we can say that readily found in mining industry and the different machining working in the desert, where the contamination of the like dust particle with the equipment may cause this third body abrasion wear. And the second type of abrasion wear is like two body abrasion, which occurs in a metal on metal contact when the asperities on the harder metal plug or cut down the other surfaces. So this is we are saying that this is a two body wear. And like here that wear particles formed like chips, as we found in the like lathe machining operation. So the type of cutting wear particles, we can say that the particle type also we can characterize with the type of the wear also. Since the asperities in every engineering surface we have different types of asperities, so we can't eliminate even after the sophisticated polishing the different type of asperities. So there is a every time there is a possibilities of wear, every time there is a possibilities of two body abrasion will always exist. So frequently we can say that the two body or three body abrasion are combinedly in services in the we can't neglect or we can't eliminate these types where 100% we are not able to eliminate. So this is we can say that this is the steel surfaces where the wear happen because of the abrasion mechanism. We are able to see the different this is the mechanism of the material removal in the abrasive wear is basically same as machining and the grinding during the machining process. We can analyze this one with this picture, like the mechanism of the material removal in the abrasive wear, or we can say that the material in the softer surface is removed by the combined effect of micro plugging and the micro cutting, or we can say the micro cranking. So as a result, the worn surface is generally characterized by the grooves and the scratches. As you are seeing in the figure, there are grooves and the scratches in the picture. Or sometimes we can say that the abrasive wear have a benefit, like in the water jet machining. Water jet has the ability to cut to the metal with the relative easy. This can reduce the property changes when we are using the abrasive water jet machining. So we are using the abrasive wear also. So in this way, we are just reducing the we can reduce the property change when we are using the water jet machining method. So the next is we'll understand what are the different things in the adhesive wear. So we can't say that the abrasion wear is only exist. We have adhesive wear that will produce the severe wear. Engineering surface have perfectly never be perfect, as we discussed. So the surface of mostly highly polished engineering surface, we can say that have irregularities and the asperities in the contact. So as a result of plastic deformation, we can say that or in metallic adhesion will occur. As a result of when we are two surfaces are in contact or sliding over each other. So there is a plastic deformation, there is an intermetallic adhesion will also occur. So the forming a cold weld junction between the contacting asperities sometimes. And the strength of the junction is determined by the surface structure. The mutual solubility, we can say that of the two contacting bodies. So the tendency of adhesion is the lowest for the pair of material with almost zero metal, or we can say there's a zero solubility. So this is limited to very few metals. So there is a tendency that when two bodies slides each over, there is a tendency that they will get, there is a adhesion, there is a tendency of adhesion. So most metallic materials shows their appreciable tendency of the adhesion. So when the two contact surfaces undergo relative motion, so there is a tearing must take place. So we can say that either at the cold weight junction or at the inside the original material. So we can say that depending on the whether it is which one is weaker. Okay, if the strength of the adhesion junction is relatively low, in that case the contact pair with a low mutual solubility, or we can say that metallic surface separates by the oxide films. Okay, tearing will takes place at the junction, or material loss during the wear will minimum. So when tearing occurs inside the softer material, a fragment of the softer material will be dragged away and adhering to the harder body. So this one is the mechanism of the wear. We can say that this is just like a tendency of the when two surfaces are in contact and having a relative motion. So there is a tendency of, we can understand that there is a tendency of adhesion, and this is really the reason of the adhesion wear. So in the figure, you can say that there are different ways of the wear. We can understand that this is the structure. What is the deformation of a transferred material results in the layer surface morphology on the contour surfaces. So this is the picture that where we are understanding that the transferred layer of titanium alloy on a steel surfaces. So they are forming a layered surface morphology over that one. So we can say that it's a transferred layer probably when the bond between the layer and the underlying material has been locally weakened by the cyclic loading. So this is the morphology. Plate-like morphology will occur when there is a adhesive wear. So the next is we are dealing with the oxidation wear. This is also the reason for the severe wear. Severe wears. So metal surfaces are generally, or we can say, they're normally covered by the layer of oxides. Okay, so which could prevent metal to metal contacts. So thus avoiding the, we can say that formation of adhesion and reducing the tendency of adhesive wear. Oxide is a favorable factor in reducing wear of metallic materials. So whether such beneficial effect can also be realized or not, strongly dependent on the material property. But when the hardness of the material underlying an oxide layer is low, then the contact load is relatively high. When then the metals beneath the oxide layer get plastically deformed. Okay, and the asperities in the hard surface will penetrate there. So though a thin oxide layer, so leading to the normal metal to metal contact. In such with the wear of adhesion or abrasion will occur depending on the mechanical property and the chemical property of the contacting metal. So we can say that the beneficial effect of the oxide is minimal, or wear rate is generally high. So we can say that the metal is hard enough for the purpose. When there is a metal is very hard to support the oxide film, then only this oxidation wear will happen. Okay, so the mechanism of oxidation wear we can see in the figure. At the beginning process, we can say that the wear process, oxide film on the metal surface was removed and the hard asperities rubs across the high point of the oxide layer and leaving the underlying metal uncovered. This is the first step, and this is the second step. And then the fresh metal, we can say that we quickly react with the oxidation, reaction will happen and the oxidation will happen, and the fresh metal will react with the oxygen in the air to form a fresh oxide layer, which will then scrap off again by the asperities. So such oxidation or a scrap, we can say that mechanical cycle repeats during the oxidation wear process, producing wear debris by finely powdered oxides. Okay. So the worn surfaces we can see in the next figure, like the surface of a cobalt alloy worn by the oxidation wear. So the worn surfaces is a smooth and the frequently covered with a layer and the patches of oxides. Okay, this one. So which sometimes can be visually seen, or like for the steel, the worn surfaces becomes dark, or we can understand with the help of color characterization. We can say that for the purpose of a steel, it becomes dark brown. So then we can also characterize with the help of colors also, and the morphology of the surface worn wear also we can characterize this one. So now we will see that what is the tribology in manufacturing. So first we'll understand just basic thing, what is the tribology. So tribology basically first was reported in, like we can say that it is reported first in the landmark by the in a landmark report by the Jost in 1966, and the word is derived from the Greek word tribos, which means rubbing. This is the very basic things of that word, the tribology. So that means the science of rubbing, and basically tribology includes wear, friction, and the lubrication. So all the aspects that we have discussed, the friction and the wear and the we didn't discuss about the lubrication. We are applying or we are using the lubrication to reduce the friction and wear everywhere. So the tribology just include just keywords are here like friction, wear, and lubrication. So the definition from the dictionary, we can say that this is the tribology is a science and technology of interacting surfaces in relative motions. Okay, what is the relative motion and the related subject and practices. This is the thing. So the tribology deals with the friction, wear, and the lubrication. So this is the different applications in the manufacturing aspects where the tribology will deal, where the friction exists. So we can say that this is the existence of the friction. So where there is existence of friction, there is existence of the tribology. So tribology is art of applying, we can say that, operational analysis to a problem of great economic significance also, namely, or we can say that the reliability, maintenance, and the wear of the technical equipment. So, and the ranging from the spacecraft to the household appliances. So the surface interaction in a tribological interface are of very highly complex, so we can say that. And their understanding requires a knowledge of various disciplines. We can say that physics also, chemistry also, and the applied mathematics, solid mechanics, fluid mechanics, thermodynamics, heat transfer, or the material science, rheology, lubrication, machine design. So we can say that the tribology are very interdisciplinary branch, where we have to all these types of field knowledge to understand to understand the highly interactive surfaces when two bodies are in relative motion and there is a cause of the wear and friction. So we have to understand the different types of wear, friction, and so that to understanding these things we have to have a knowledge of different disciplines. So these are the aspects of manufacturing in tribology. So the tribology exists in many other, we are seeing here that tribology exists in like metal cutting or the grinding and the rolling, or extrusion and drawing and the open die forging, okay, and the impression die forging also. So you can also refer to the source also, where you can find that in details what is there and what are the different ways we can apply the friction and how we are going to reduce the friction, and it is required by the use of proper optimal lubrication. So we can say that there are other aspects also exist, such as a spinning, powder metal compaction, and friction welding. We are applying the concept of tribological concepts. Or in cutting and forming operation, the pressure is, we can say that when we are understanding a cutting and forming operation, the pressure in the tool and workpiece contact often exceeds the yield stress of the material. So this renders the traditional theory of the contact, or we can say that the traditional theory of the lubrication of limited value, so that a special mechanism of friction or wear have to be we have to be analyzed here. And what is the constant of lubrication we can apply here? We have to understand a special mechanism, because it's not same as we are applying the same friction and the wear aspects in other application, and thus that is not same as we are applying for the purpose of manufacturing also. So there is a little bit different. What are the different we will discuss. While the basic principle used in the tribology of machine elements are still valid in the case as valid in the other element, in manufacturing are still valid. But there is a thing in the case of manufacturing, we have to apply different aspect also. The major difference between the manufacturing tribology and more traditional, we can say that more traditional application of tribology, is that the more difference attributes, the two different attributes are there, the very high temperature and the pressure that exists at the tool work interface and the bulk staining of the workpiece. So this is the two aspects that exist and that makes that manufacturing tribology different from the traditional tribology. The two aspects are very high temperature, elevated temperature and pressure that exist at a tool interface, or we can say that the workpiece interface, and the second one is the bulk staining of the workpiece surfaces. So this is the two aspects that makes the, like this is that we can say that we have to and consider these two aspects, and that makes it different from the traditional application of the tribology as we are applying in the machine elements. So we have to understand this one also. And there are lots of application, there are lots of other application of the tribology in the manufacturing. Is like we are applying different, like we can say that application of artificial neural network in the prediction or the classification in manufacturing process. We can say that for the purpose of, we are applying like application of ANN or the prediction, like we can say that for the purpose of classification in manufacturing process using wear analysis. So this is the application of also tribology in manufacturing by applying different, we can say that neural network methods for the classification and the understanding of the what is the manufacturing process using the wear particles or the wear process of that manufacturing process. So the purpose is here to just purpose if the prediction by of the we can say that the purpose of applying artificial neural network to diagnosis the, we can say that the prediction of lifetime, what is the accelerated lifetime testing, or we can also predict like online control of the manufacturing processes that involve the wear and the prediction of the main properties of the mechanical system, or we can also do the during the conceptual design stage at this one. The classification is useful for the diagnosis purpose also, like recognition of the condition of operation, the recognition of the fault also. So these are different types of classification and prediction we can do with the help of like tribology in manufacturing. The tribology application is like we are just diagnosis, we are just analyzing the wear process in the different types of manufacturing process, and we are applying different types of like neural network method for the purpose of prediction and the classification. That makes the classification and the prediction more efficient. So now we will see the different we can say that application or the what is like this is the one of the case study we will discuss. Okay, so this is the like we are in this case study we have analyzed the performance of abrasive, or we can say that performance of abrasive water jet machining process is mainly dependent on what? Dependent on the jet diameter, which is prone to change with the time due to the nozzle wear. We are seeing that different type of picture. There are different types of 4 nozzles, so like water jet machining. There are different at different stages. We have taken the picture. So in like in this figure, the nozzle wear have been analyzed in this study. The nozzle wear have been analyzed using the vibration aspect. So you are seeing the setup also, how we are applying where what it is. So we are just measuring the vibration spectrum, and the experiments are conducted with the 4 different types of nozzle, and like for what is the different aspect of the what is the different vibration spectrum we have recorded, and understand the what is the effect of the wears. Here we have analyzed the different types of vibration under the different nozzles. Okay, so this the difference in the nozzles are that the different stages of the nozzle we have collected, and what at a different nozzle diameter, the nozzle diameter changes with that time, and then it wears out. So what are the differences we have analyzed? So like we can say that the obtained we have obtained different types of we have used the different number of experiments. After number of experiments, we have obtained different types of spectrums, and then after the obtaining the different, this is not the actual spectrum of the vibration. We have just this is like we have just this is the frequency plot of that different nozzles, and then what we have did the signal processing method to obtain a particular, or to max, or we did the signal processing to obtain to reduce the noises from the signals. And like we have initially in the figure 15, we can say that we have the vibration spectrum, and we are not able to analyze 100%. And after the like data acquisition, there are a number of reasons that there may be the noise also. So we are applying a method like a supra threshold stochastic resonance using the MATLAB, and that application makes us to understand and makes us understand what is the reason of the uh, particular, how can we identify, or how can we identify the changes in the nozzle diameter and the machining process. We can say that these are the different things that we have considered in this study. So this is like the figure where, sorry, this is like a figure where so this is a figure we have studied. First one is for the frequency plot, or for the like what we have obtained during the from the vibration spectrum, and then plotted, and then after the signal processing. Okay, so this one is same. We are just using the accelerometer here to analyze or to record the vibration spectrum at the mixing chamber, and we have analyzed and we have recorded different signals, and then we proceed then we use the like processing method, signal processing method, to process this one by using an algorithm that name is supra threshold stochastic resonance. Using the, we have processed this one using the MATLAB, and the, or we can say that the vibration plots shows a simpler in this figure. This shows the simply amplitude of the frequency increases. We can see that increases with the increase in the focusing diameter tube, or because of the there is a increase in the diameter of the like this one, this is decreasing because it is increasing, the diameter is increasing because of the aberration wear. So we can say that the frequency is also increasing because of the aberration wear. And so we are using a method also like a supra threshold stochastic resonance that can monitor the nozzle wear at any instant. After training with this one, we can able to monitor the nozzle wear at any instant of time during the operation. That increases the quality of the machining and its performance. So we can say that the result also obtained shows that this technique is very easy to implement and give better performance in monitoring and analyzing the wear severity of the nozzle. So this is the way we are dealing with the, or we can say that we are dealing with, or we are analyzing the wear of a nozzle, so that we are able to predict the machining. The aim is to not just analyzing the wear of the nozzle. The aim is to just analyze the wear in the nozzle, so that we are able to produce a high products when we are using the machining operation. Our aim is to just get a high finishing objects. If you are able to predict the what is the severity, if there is a more severity in if you get the nozzle will get with the time of operation, it get more deteriorated or degraded. So how we will going to measure this one? The challenge is this one, that how we can understand that this nozzle is not working. This nozzle, we can't work with this nozzle after only seeing the machining finishing. Only then you are able to analyze that the tool is not working properly. But our aim is to just analyze during the operation, so that we can stop the operation in between and change the tools also, so get a good finish. So then this is the first aspect. And then next aspect, to understand the application of a wear in manufacturing, we can analyze like wear of the tool also by using we are applying like lubricants while we are machining different different processes. We are using the like fluids, in the fluids we can collect the particles. From the particles we can analyze that what type of cooling is going on. We can also analyze. So after collecting the particles from the lubricants, or we can say the liquids, or we can say that from the coolant also that you are using. So after that collection, the thing is that we have to separate the small wear particles generated during the machining process, and so that purpose there is we can apply like a ferrogram maker that can be utilized. It can be applied for the purpose of separating the particle from the lubricant that we have used during the machining. So in this method, just we are taking the samples and we are applying that thing. Like here you are seeing that there is a ferrogram maker, and the ferrogram maker we are using like slides. We are making a slides, okay, using the ferrogram maker. And there is in the ferrogram maker, just we are taking the lubricant with that have a wear particle, and that we pour in this thistle tube by mixing. If the lubricant have a very high viscous, then we have to mix with like some solvent that may be like heptane, or that may be like toluene. We can mix with that one also for the purpose of like cleaning purpose also. That will act as a cleaning purpose of the for the wear particle, so that the oil present in the wear particle get removed. The solvent also that act as also cleaning purpose also, and for the diluting purpose also we can use the solvent. So after the solvent taking we are taking the solvent and pour it in the thistle tube, and then there is a magnetic base, so the particle will get separated on the slides, where a glass slides here. So the particle gets separated, and the magnetic particle also gets separated, and the non-magnetic particles also get separated here. Okay, so the thing is that we are getting a pattern, different types of pattern and different types of like wear particles there on the glass slide. So we can observe that different types of what are the different types of wear particles on the glass slide. We can observe with the help of like photographic, like we can say that the photographic view can be obtained by using the bichromatic microscope. The benefit of bichromatic microscope is here that we can use a simple microscope also, but in most of the cases in ferrogram we are using the bichromatic microscope. That the advantage of this one is that here there is a two method. With using the two method, we can illuminate the glass slide. Okay, one is called like we can use the refracting method, or we can use the reflecting method. So there are two ways to illuminate, or we can using the illumination purpose. There are two way, reflection and the refraction. So in there are two different way we are able to analyze different aspects of the wear particle. We can analyze the different aspects, so that we can also analyze here what is the different particle, is a cast iron or the aluminum alloy or the copper, by using or by comparing it with a particular catalog we have. Or we can also analyze, we are also able to analyze the different boundary structure of the particles, which type we can also able to calculate the wear particle shape, or we can do the particle characterization after getting the photographic view. Like you are seeing that I have showing you like different, like what is the rubbing wear particles, and what is the severe wear particle, and spelling wear particles, fatigue wear particle, and spherical wear particle. So this we can analyze, and you can also analyze this one by having some basic knowledge and by having some basic experience with this one. This is not like you currently are not able to identify how I am saying that this one is rubbing wear, and how this is the severe wear particle, and how this is the spelling wear particle. So first you have to take some basic trainings or some basic studies to that one. So is this audible or not?
Yeah, it's audible.
Okay, so actually someone has Samir Suresh and voice is interrupting.
So there is a small breakage in your voice. Small break.
Okay, sir. So after the basic training or basic study, you are able to like characterize or able to understand these types of things, or you can also do that characterization based on the how we can characterize the rubbing wear particle, severe wear particle. This is the very basic thing. So we can also analyze, like we can also understand with the collection of these images. After collecting the like photographic view of the particle, we can do like signal processing here also. Like we can take, or we can obtain different aspects, or we can calculate what is the different area of the particle, what is the size of the particle. You can also calculate by some basic methods, like in a MATLAB. First we will use what we will just if you have a knowledge of the MATLAB and image processing the MATLAB, that is the very easy one, not much more. So just we are read the starting with the reading of the image, and then calibrating the image, and the like first step, and then the second step is the calibration. We are calibrating the image with the like with the and correlate the pixel length to the physical length. We have to do that one, and then there is RGB conversion, and this is the thing. So then we are just thresholding, and this the second thing that what we are doing. The next step is we are thresholding the image to obtain a wear particle. This is the thresholding one, and then water segmentation for the purpose to, so that we are to avoid the overlap. This one has done, and then we are just calculating the particle features. What are the different types of particle features? So we are able to calculate these things, like what is the like measure length of a particular particle, what is the minor length, what is the area. We are able to calculate what is the perimeter, what is the aspect ratio, each and every particle there. So we can calculate, and we can, here there are different samples have been taken, and in a particular samples we are able to calculate mean and standard deviation of the measure length and minor length. So in this way you are able to, this is the way we can analyze the particles formed on a slide, or after having the image of the particle, you are able to calculate anything. Like you are able to calculate area of particular single particle also, or a number of particle also. We can calculate what is the different types of area, what is the aspect ratio. We can calculate what is the perimeter individual. We can calculate, or we can calculate number of things. So the research is here that you can apply our direct existing method of, like there are different number of thresholding, there are different way of thresholding, how to threshold the things, and there are different way of water segmentation, or we can say that there are different way of methods, algorithm that exist to avoid the overlapping of image. How we will get separate the different types of image, how we will get the different maximum output from this image. So this is the research part also. We can improve the algorithm to get our to visualize more accurately. This is the thing, we can visualize the more accurately how the different particle can get separated. If some two particles get overlapped, how we will get, how we have to remove that one also. So this so there are different number of algorithm, and the research is going also on different types of development of algorithm to obtain or to utilize the maximum output from a particular image. This is the part of like we can say that the image processing. So in this way we can get different types of like what is the different type of feature of a particle. We can say that what we could do the particle characterization also using the like image processing method. So you can also do, after the image processing method, we can also compare the obtained result using the different types of distribution functions. Okay, so here the comparison is done using the Weibull distribution function between the like Rayleigh distribution function, and you can obtain the what is the MSE, what is the R square. So after that you can find that which for the particular machining operation or the particular machining process, which distribution fits better in your data. So this is the aim to fit, so that in the from the next time you are able to find that which type of particle you are finding, means like you are able to predict that one which type of particle, what is the size distribution of the particle. You can analyze this one. Now in the graph you can say that the particle size like 15 to like around 10 to 20, the maximum number of particles are forming here. So the particle size is a maximum number of particles, or probability of finding the maximum number of particle is between 10 to 25. So in this plot, or using this plot, or particular different types of plot are also there. So using that plot we can able to find or we can able to predict the what is the probability of finding the different size of the particle. This is the thing that we are plotting the thing. We are plotting just to observe with what is the size of the particle, what is the size of the weir particles we can find. Okay. So this is the thing that we can apply different Weibull distribution, Rayleigh distribution, or number of distribution exist in statistical methods. So you have to find the particular machining process, what can you what different statistical analysis we can do. So the whole is thing like we are applying the tribology concept in manufacturing, and what is the different aspect from the traditional tribology in manufacturing. Tribology we have discussed. So the tribology helps in understanding the fundamentals of, we can say that the friction and the wear process in manufacturing process, such as machining, drawing and rolling, extrusion, abrasive process, the processing at micro and the nano scales. So this also helps in controlling the friction and the wear by using the, we can say that by lubricants are the optimal application of a lubricant in manufacturing process. So there are number of monitoring, wear monitoring tools that increase the quality of machining and its performance, we can say that. So this is the application of tribology. And the we can say that particle analysis also show the presence of like different types of, we can able to characterize different types of particles, that how maybe side like rubbing, spherical and fatigue wear particles, severe wear particles, and how we can also in this way we can also analyze the wearing of the tool during the machining, and we can also apply the different types of empirical relation that can be developed using distribution function for the purpose of prediction of the wear severity. And it you can say that in different types of, it is expected to be beneficial the purpose of prediction of like machine or tool failure, we can say that. So in this way we can say that the whole and soul like tribology have a vast application in manufacturing. Okay. So in purpose of either we can increasing the machining quality, or we can the purpose of monitoring of the tool also. So this is the thing. Okay. Any questions? Thank you for the listening, sir.
Yeah, Ashwin, is it the 25th slide is the last slide, or okay, this is the conclusion slide?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We'll get stuck maybe.
Okay. No, you can tell about the paper recently which we got. No?
This actually these two are the recent work also. This one the recent work. Okay.
No, this I got this paper. You can show them actually. You have that paper soft copy?
Maybe, sir, I have this one, that one actually. Okay, sir.
You can switch off your video.
Okay, sir.
So there is some disturbance in the voice.
Okay, so let's.
In fact, we got the paper recently. This wear analysis of abrasive water jet nozzle using SSR technique. We got recently in IMechE, part E, process
Part is
mechanical, part E. In fact, this work we have done about how many years? 7 years? 7 years
yes,
back
sir.
we have done.
In 2012
And
maybe.
2012, 13, Ashwin was
12.
doing MTech with me. And that time we have done this work. So we thought that we should write a paper because after that he joined PhD. I was busy somewhere else. So then I was also I was busy in my completing my PhD that time. So we couldn't write the paper, and recently we have written this paper and it got accepted
Actually, I have not, sir. I have not downloaded that one, but I have the Word file also.
No. Word file is not required. If you have that journal file only, that is better. Otherwise, chodo, no issue. Okay. If you have any questions, quickly you can ask. You have some 20 minutes more. Any questions? Hello?
Sir, they are able to
Can you hear me?
unmute themselves.
Okay, let me unmute everyone. If you want to ask questions, please ask it. So we saw up to figure 20 only. After that, somebody is asking up to figure only. After that, it got stuck. So you can show the last 3 slides, I think. After 25,
Okay,
you can
sir.
show Ashwin. Because that time,
Okay, sir.
only that figure slide only, it got stuck up there, I think.
Okay, sir.
I think 25th slide is the figure slide. I think. Last where debris, everything which you are talking.
Is it visible?
Not it. This is your screen is visible. Case study 2. Next slide.
This one.
Here we got stuck up actually. After that, nothing is busy. This is the last slide. Even if
Okay,
you're talking,
okay, sir.
you can
Okay,
show
this is the thing I am discussing about after the separation or after the getting the photographic view of the wear particles. We can do like image processing method for the purpose of like getting different wear particle characteristics. Like we can obtain like different characteristics like area of the particle, the size of the particle we can measure, or we can also measure the different parameters of the particles. Or this is the way in this I am discussing this way. This is the way in which we can analyze the particle, or we can do the image processing. Just this is a very basic thing that was in for the starting with the first stage is read. We are reading the file, and then the second step is to just calibrate. We are just calibrating the image and correlating with the physical length, and then the conversion of the RGB scale to the like RGB image to the grayscale image. This is the thing, and then
this is your done.
thresholding.
This you're done in MATLAB.
Yes, sir, in the MATLAB.
Okay. What is the
And
particle size?
particle size, we are just showing that mean particle size here.
Oh, mean particle size. What is that?
Mean major length, mean minor length, that is the 17.9, that is a micrometer.
Very small actually. Okay.
Yes, actually.
Okay.
We can apply this method to the tool monitoring also. When we are using the lubrication high.
Yes.
Lubrication.
That is what we are right now doing with MQL when we are trying to do when we are characterizing the with the particles so we are doing this method only.
Okay, sir.
But not through we are not done through MATLAB. We have done through ImageJ.
Okay, sir. ImageJ, yes, ImageJ is also one method, and there is other software. So Pebble software is also there. Image also. We can do that one also.
Pebble, PEBBLE.
Yes, sir. There is a Pebble software also, but ImageJ is more convenient than money.
Right. It is easier to operate actually.
To characterize the particle.
Yes. Next slide. This is the deviation. Okay.
So in this way, we are able to calculate different like features of the particle, measure length, minor length, area, perimeter. We can also calculate. We can get the mean of the particle and standard deviation also. In this way, we can plot. Actually, the aim is to just plot and analyze what different distribution or what the different mathematical statistical analysis you can do is that different statistical analysis method exists. Okay, that's first one. Like in this method, we have discussed about like Weibull distribution and the Rayleigh distribution. Just to get the probability distribution of wear particle size, in which range, what is the probability distribution of finding a particle of which at this which side we can calculate, or we can make a model also with this with the help of a statistical analysis. So in this study, you can find that what is the majority of the particle is lying between the like 10 micron to like 20 micron. So in this way, you can also make for your system what is the like severity and how much you can go with that particle size. Means what is the larger particle size limit in your system you can analyze, and after that machining operation get deteriorated. So in this way, you are able to predict, or we can say that we are able to find the probability distribution of wear particle size. And you can have also the mean square error by comparison, and you can also generate the R square. Okay, so this is the thing that we are discussing about this one.
Okay. Thank you, Ashwin, for the elaborate lecture.
Thank you, sir.
Any doubts you have? The participants, I have unmuted everyone. You can unmute yourself. Given permission for talking, you can unmute yourself and you can ask questions. Any questions? No. Okay. If you don't have any questions, let us thank the speaker. Okay. Kindly
Okay,
share.
actually, I have find the paper, that one.
Okay. Kindly share details regarding analysis of type of wear. Okay.
This one,
Ashwin
the
will be
paper.
showing the paper which we got recently.
This is the paper that, okay, get us
We were talking, no? We were talking the wear monitoring of the nozzle wear using the SSR technique. Got the paper?
Yes, yes. Just sharing.
You can just share it.
Sir.
We will send that paper also to you. If you want, you can use it. But this is a very good technique where if you want to understand the wear process. No?
This is the paper that we have published recently. Rear analytics of abrasive water jet nozzle using suprathreshold stochastic resonance. In this method, the suprathreshold stochastic resonance is applied for the purpose of signal processing, that we are getting the vibration spectrum. We are just processing that vibration spectrum using this method. This is the paper.
Actually, this work is a very novel work. The quantum is very less, but it's a novel work. It's only 6 to 7 pages only, the paper we talked, and we got published. So in research also the same thing it has going to happen. Not necessarily you are going to do large amount of work. Though you do a small amount of work, if it is normal, definitely you will get the publication. Somebody is asking regarding kindly share details regarding the analysis of types of wear.
Types of
Palaksha, yeah. Palaksha Reddy, is the types of wear you are talking about the wear debris related, or what type of wear?
This is the type of wear, means he is referring this, what is the rubbing wear type of severe wear type. Okay.
Using ferrogram.
So actually, what is the question? Actually, basically, kindly share the PPT and okay, kindly share the details regarding the analysis of the type of wear. Okay, we are just analyzing on the visual. Here, I am just showing this visual aspects of analyzing. That if the size of the particle is less than 5 micrometer, then this is considered as the severe wear. Depending upon the boundary structure and the surface structure of the particle, we are classifying the severe wear, spalling wear. Okay, the boundary as fatigue wear, this is the redundancy in the boundary. Just that is a thing. After that, after the, like I've said you that after matching, or you can say that I have a basic training, you are able to only analyze what is the difference between the fatigue wear particle and the spalling wear particle. And there is also a catalog that you can match that your particle in the picture you are getting, and then you can match the picture and with the catalog, and then you can analyze that this is the particle. And there is this basic feature is like we have to analyze with the boundary features. Okay, what type of boundary, there's a smooth boundary, or which type of boundary is there, and what is the surface, what is the scratch on the surface, is that there on the particle. On that basis, we are going to analyze the particle feature, characterizing the particles.
So is this work published, Ashwin?
Yes, sir. This one is both one may publish. Yes, sir.
Okay. So like if somebody asks, can we share this video? No.
Yes, yes, sir. We can share, no issue.
No issue. Okay. Then somebody is asking now whether we can share this video. Video recording I will be sharing, Dr. Rajeshwari.
Okay, no, so they can also refer to the paper, published paper also. There they can find the detail also.
Okay. What you can do is that the published paper you can mail me. I will share with all the participants also.
Okay, sir. Actually, this work is done for the lubrication purpose, but the same work can apply for the purpose when we are using the lubricant for the in the machining. We can apply this. This work is different, but the application you can apply in the application in the field of machining also. My application is different. My application is lubricant. I am just observing the wear particles in the lubrication, in the transmission lubrication, in the engine lubrication. But the method same can be applied when we are using the lubricant in the, like during the machining process.
Okay. Palaksha is again asking the contact details. I will share the email. I told you, I will be sharing all the email details of the speakers. You are free to contact them through email.
Any further questions you want to ask?
Any other question? If you don't have any, okay, thank you. Okay, if you don't have any, Dr. Ashok is trying to ask something actually.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So if you don't have any questions, we should thank the speaker for this wonderful lecture. And thank you, Ashwin. Thank you for being with us for some time.
Thank you, sir, and thank you everyone. Okay, sir.
So just if everyone can switch on their video, we'll take a small snapshot. So I request everyone to switch on their video just for a couple of seconds, maybe a minute.
I don't know, it's taking time to.
It will take time, but just
yes, sir.
You will take a snapshot. People have started this. Okay, while the people are using their video, let me ask one more question. Ashwin, can I ask? There is one more question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No issue.
How is it different from regular microscope, this bichromatic?
Actually, the illumination method is different here. We are just in the regular microscope, we are using just reflecting. The illumination method is we are refracting using the refracting method. But in this way, we are illuminating the slides from the using the reflection also, using the method of reflection. This is the bichromatic. Name is bichromatic. In bichromatic, there are two methods of illumination. This is the difference.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Chaitanya and Nikhil, you can take the photograph. Everyone has come? Yes, sir. Let me. Yeah, you have to see at your cameras. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll take 2, 3. Just keep for a while. Is it done? Okay, okay. You can take some 2, 3 in that case. Everyone, please switch on your video for a small duration of time. Okay. It's fine. We have already informed actually. Okay, thank you everyone. And you can switch off your video now. I have a small announcement. Thank you,
Okay, sir.
Ashwin.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Okay, may I leave, sir?
Yeah, you can leave.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So we will be having the last session after this around 11:30 to 1 o'clock. That will be the last session. And we will be having the valedictory at 3 o'clock. the director of the institute and our head of the department has kindly agreed to be a part of this one. So please, everyone, join for that valedictory. It will be only for 15 minutes. And after that, we will be having a quiz. So the quiz will be for 25 marks. I hope it is audible for everyone. The quiz will be for 25 marks and it will be shared through a Google Sheet. So all are multiple choice. I think 3 are there where you have to write some small one sentence or one word. So otherwise everything is multiple choice and every question you have to attempt. So once you do it and you have to submit and we will be getting the responses. Then after that we can disperse it. And I also request that you can give your feedback during the valedictory. Maybe out of 70 80 people, maybe some 5-6 people can talk about, you can give your own feedback. Whether it's good or bad, no problem, you should give it. Okay? So we'll stop this session.
Sir, how can you give it the feedback, sir? Is there any link?
No. AICT will be taking their own feedback.
Yeah, that is the last day, right, sir?
Today is the last day.
Yeah, that mean I will the every feedback that is the last day now.
Yes. No, what I'm trying to say is that during valedictory, I want at least some 5 to 6 people should talk about the workshop.
Sure, sir.
At that time, you can switch on your video or even audio also okay. Okay. I will be sharing the valedictory link with you. Okay. We'll stop here again. We are going to meet at 11:30. Thanks for your patient listening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. I'll stop here and we can leave the meeting. Again, we are going to meet at 11:25. Thank you.